Good evening. I'm really excited about the scrimmage. I thought as a football team that we got better. We hit on a lot of different scenarios that could come up in a game. I thought for the most part the players handled them pretty well. We've got a lot of improvement to do before our first game, but I'm really excited about the way this team is trending right now.
What are your thoughts on the quarterback play tonight?
I thought it was really good. I thought both quarterbacks were very sharp. Very sharp. I'm anxious to see it on film and sit with the offensive staff and watch it, but for being out on the field and watching, I thought both guys were really sharp tonight.
How about Hayden in the 2-minute drill toward the end? 3 for 3 in those 3 plays. I mean, what about that drill?
Yeah, those are the situations that when you're effective, you can win football games, and he certainly was effective tonight. So I didn't think it was just that drill. I thought, like I said, I thought both quarterbacks were very sharp tonight.
It looked to us like you split it pretty evenly, the reps. What was the plan there?
We tried to. I wanted to give both quarterbacks an opportunity to play with both groups, give them as much exposure as we could, as many reps as we could. Gio didn't get as many as I would like, but that's just the nature of the beast here when you get to this part of training camp with the bodies. But again, I think it was probably split pretty evenly.
What went into the decision to go 1s versus 2s tonight?
Well, last year we went 1s versus 2s, I believe, both times. This year we went 1s versus 1s in the first scrimmage. I think for the young offensive linemen, it's critical that they get a chance to play against what I think is a pretty good defensive line. And then tonight, you give the 2s a little more opportunity to do that as well, because some of those 2s are going to play for us. So when you're in the game, you're a 1, and we've always felt that here. So for some of those younger offensive linemen, I thought it was important. And for some of the younger defensive linemen, a guy like Kevin Wilkins, I think it's important for Kevin Wilkins to play against the first offensive line.
You have new captains. Can you talk about their leadership qualities?
You know, that group of 4 guys, I thought were great choices by our team. And as always, there's always kind of a line of demarcation when you look at the voting and things like that. And there was no doubt that those 4 were the captains. Darius has done it. You know, he's somebody who elevates everybody around him. Leonte has really been such a high performance guy in our program. It's not just what you see on game day. It's in the off season. It's in the weight room. He really brings it every day. And Quentin Gauze is the same way. You know, Quentin Gauze has got the respect of just about everybody on this football team for the quality of the person he is. And he's played a lot of football for us. There's no doubt. And I think the younger players, and really even his contemporaries, watching Paul James go through, you know, and overcome what he's gone through the last couple of years, it didn't surprise me at all that they would vote Paul captain.
Speaking about PJ, how concerned are you about him?
I'm not. I mean, you never like to see a guy leave a scrimmage, but I don't think it's something that's going to be an extended period of time.
What's left between now and making a decision on the quarterbacks?
That's a great question. I know the first thing is I'm here to make you feel good. So. I think the first thing we got to do is look at the film. That's the first thing that will happen. And then we'll look at it, we'll see if we're ready to make a decision or not, and then we'll get to tomorrow and we'll practice and see who can take the corrections, because there's always corrections, regardless of how well we think they played. There'll be corrections that we have to make tomorrow, and see who makes those corrections, and ultimately I'll make the decision.
Do you have a date you're shooting for?
I'm sorry.
Could it be tomorrow?
It could be. It could be. I think we're getting close. There's a minimal amount of time left until I feel like we need to make a decision and start moving forward towards the first game.
With Justin Goodwin, it seemed like he handled everything tonight pretty well. Talk about his play.
Yeah, I thought Justin played really well tonight. Really pleased with how he ran the ball, pleased with how he protects on third down. He's a versatile guy, a very valuable guy, and with not everybody being 100%, Robert Martin, Josh Hicks not going today, PJ going for a little bit and then leaving, it really fell on his shoulders, and I thought he stepped up and performed very well.
When we were talking earlier in the season about the embarrassment of riches at running back, you kept warning us that, is this kind of what you had in mind?
It is. I mean, we lived it last year. As I've told you, we got to the end of the bowl game with 2 healthy running backs, and that was really the situation we're in. And our backs are going to be back before the first game, so that part is not the issue. But in any particular game, this can happen, and this can come up. And to have a guy like Justin Goodwin who can go in there and perform at a high level, that's what you need. You'd like to have that depth at every position.
I know guys are.
He looked pretty I'll speak just for tonight. Let me do that. I thought he looked pretty good tonight. I thought he was very consistent tonight. I was on the field behind the offense pretty much the whole scrimmage, so he did not stick out to me in any way, which is a good thing for an offensive line, and that means he's probably on his guy. He's probably doing a pretty good job blocking.
I know guys get held out for various reasons, but it just seems like a long injury list. Any concerns, or is it more precautionary?
There's some concerns and some precautionary. There's a little bit of both, and we'll put another list out next week, and we'll see where we're at.
BTN being here add another element to this scrimmage?
I think it's great. I think anytime we have the opportunity to get the exposure that BTN brings us, it's good for our program, it's good for our student athletes, and the players always appear to be genuinely excited when they see him.
A beautiful night under the lights. What kind of momentum does that bring?
As much momentum as it takes to get to Monday's practice. You know, we've got an off day tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some of the guys back that didn't scrimmage today. I think there's always a lot of energy when we come out here under the lights, and that's enjoyable for us as coaches to watch the players do it.
Two more questions.
What's the goal going into the last week of training camp?
The goal every day is the same. We just want to come out of the day a better football team, which means every individual player's got to try to go 1-0 that day. You know, in terms of the last week of training camp, it'll be split between continuing to install a couple little things that we haven't gotten in yet, and then ultimately toward the end of the week starting the game plan process.
Coach, what did you think of Carter's play tonight after you had to sit a couple running backs?
Yeah, I said something to the team about Devin Carter. You know, one of the more unselfish acts we've had on our football team. You know, we had depth issues at running back. We needed him to go back to running back. He'd been playing linebacker. I know Devin would like his role on game day to be bigger, but he's such a quality person and such a team-first person. He made the switch in a second and was a very valuable guy and performed very well tonight. He did a nice job running the football and running it against the ones. And you know, in that 4-minute situation, gets a big first down and allows us to run the clock out.
Thanks, man.